Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping in because you asked for it. A real snapshot of the Indian IT landscape as it stands right now in August 2025. You want to know what's actually happening on the ground.
And what we found, stacking all these sources together, is, well, it's a story of contradictions. Two completely parallel realities.
Right.
On one side, you've got this incredible, massive scale-up of government digital infrastructure, a huge push into deep tech, national security, manufacturing, really ambitious stuff.
And on the other side?
On the other, you have a job market that's tightening in very specific ways, and cybersecurity threats that are just getting more and more sophisticated.
That's the tension we want to explore. Our goal here isn't just to list the facts, but to really get into the difference between that headline growth and what it feels like for millions of professionals. Okay, let's unpack this.
I think we have to start with the jobs. It's the pressure point everyone feels first.
Exactly. Job market anxiety. The official story is always about expansion, but on the ground, especially in the big traditional IT firms, it feels like a squeeze.
It is a squeeze. The sources are talking about silent layoffs really taking hold, putting something like 50,000 tech jobs on the line this year.
50,000. But at the same time, the global outlook for India is still strong, right?
It is, and that's the contradiction. India still has the second strongest hiring sentiment in the world, a net employment outlook of 42% for Q3. So the demand is there, but the kind of demand has changed completely. It's like the industry has changed the locks. The old keys don't work anymore.
So if the overall feeling is optimistic, why is it so hard for, say, a new graduate to get their foot in the door? Why is that gate so narrow?
It really boils down to what you could call a repricing of risk.
Repricing of risk. What do you mean?
I mean, companies are they're reluctant to spend a lot of time and money on long training programs. They want people who can deliver value from day one.
And the data backs that up.
Oh, absolutely. Get this. Entry-level hiring for freshers makes up only 15% of the total market in 2025.
15. Wow. That is a brutal statistic for anyone just starting out.
It is. And compare that to mid-career professionals, 4 to 10 years of experience. They make up 65% of the demand.
So companies are buying proven talent, not investing in potential.
Precisely. They're looking at freshers not as, moldable clay, but as unfinished professionals who need a big investment. It's a structural change. The generalist role is just disappearing.
Which makes that pivot away from traditional IT services and towards highly specialized deep tech skills. Well, absolutely critical.
That's where the real story is.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Let's follow the money. Let's talk about deep tech.
And this isn't hype anymore. The sources are very clear. This is an early industrial cycle. It's real.
How real?
Deep tech funding doubled in 2025. Doubled. India is now home to about 3,600 deep tech startups. That puts us sixth in the world. And these are companies solving really hard scientific problems.
Not just building another app.
Exactly.
So where's the focus? What are the priority sectors that are getting all this funding and attention?
They're all highly strategic. Think space, defense, and of course, semiconductors. But you're also seeing huge growth in power electronics for the EV market and specialized robotics for agriculture and manufacturing.
Okay, let's zoom in on semiconductors. That's always been the holy grail, the highest barrier to entry. What's the strategy there?
The strategy is smart. It's pragmatic. Instead of pouring billions into capital-heavy fabrication plants right away, the big bet is on fabless design.
So designing the chips here in India, but having them made elsewhere initially.
Yes. You build up the intellectual property first. You own the brain of the operation. It's a much faster way to build value in domestic expertise.
And does that IP-led strategy have a clear financial projection?
It's explosive. The domestic market is set to double. From about $54 billion this year, 2025, to $108 billion by 2030.
That kind of growth says the strategy is working. And I assume there's heavy government support behind this.
For sure. The India Semiconductor Mission, or ISM, is the main driver. It's already approved 10 projects, a huge investment. But for the professional listening, the key thing is the Design-Linked Incentive Scheme, the DLI.
What does that do?
It's a targeted fund of about 1,000 crore rupees, specifically to help with R&D and give designers the tools they need. It's not just about design in general. They want to see integrated circuits, chipsets, systems on chips, all designed in India.
And you can actually see the ripple effects of this in the broader manufacturing numbers, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
Total electronics manufacturing hit $115 billion.
Right. And there's a killer data point in the trade figures.
The import-export data.
Yeah. Imports of finished electronics are slowing down, but imports of electronic components are speeding up.
Ah, so that tells you that assembly and manufacturing are happening here, creating that demand for domestically produced components down the line.
It's the clearest signal you could ask for. It's proof the foundation is being laid.
So beyond chips, are there any other deep tech innovations from the sources that really stand out? Something that shows this is hitting the real world?
Absolutely. Two jump out. First, the indigenous development of a 1.5 Tesla MRI system. Making that kind of advanced medical imaging accessible and self-reliant is a huge deal for public health.
And the second?
Quantum technology. India's first quantum key distribution network, it's called MAQ-Anand, is now being scaled into a long-distance network, over 2,000 kilometers.
Okay, wait. Let's quickly explain QKD for everyone. What makes quantum key distribution such a game changer?
So, in simple terms, your standard encryption is based on math problems that are just very hard to solve. QKD is based on physics.
So it's not just hard to crack, it's
physically impossible to crack without being detected. If anyone tries to intercept the key, the very act of observing it destroys it and instantly alerts you to the intrusion. It's perfectly secure communication.
And scaling that to 2,000 kilometers means you're moving from a lab experiment to critical national infrastructure.
That's the leap. And that transition from lab to massive countrywide scale is the perfect segue to our next segment.
All this deep tech, all this ambition, it all has to run on something. It needs a massive, reliable digital backbone.
And that's exactly what's being solidified. The Digital India program just got an extension, with an outlay of nearly 15,000 crore rupees through 2026.
The numbers that come out of this infrastructure are just staggering.
They really are, and I don't think people appreciate the sheer scale of the engineering. Take ETAL 3.0. It's the government's transaction tracker. It's recording 93.33 crore e-transactions
Per day.
daily. Think about that. Nearly 1 billion secure logged transactions every 24 hours.
That's a number you have to just sit with for a second. Almost 1 billion.
Yeah,
And that scale powers services like DigiLocker.
exactly. DigiLocker is on track for over 43 crore registered users soon. And then you have the One Nation, One Ration Card Plan, ONRRC. That's a system that allows 80 crore people to get their food rations anywhere in the country.
80 crore. So you have these government platforms running at a scale and efficiency that, frankly, few global tech companies could even dream of.
It's a massive, quiet success story in public digital infrastructure.
So with that incredible stack already running, how is new tech like AI being woven in?
The India AI mission is very specific on this. It has 3 main pillars. First is startup financing, pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Second, and this is crucial, is the India AI Innovation Center. Its job is to build our own indigenous large multimodal models.
So India-specific LLMs train on India-specific data.
Precisely, to avoid external biases and to solve local problems. And the third pillar supports that, the India AI Datasets platform, which is all about cleaning up and structuring public data to make it ready for AI.
Of course, when you talk about collecting and using that much data, the next question is always privacy and governance.
It has to be, and we're seeing policy trying to keep up. The draft Digital Personal Data Protection Rules, the DPDP rules, were just put out for consultation. It shows a real effort to create a rule book for how all this data can be used safely.
So you're balancing innovation with protection.
That's the goal. But you have to contextualize all this growth, the deep tech, the digital spine, against the very real threats that are targeting it every single day.
Let's talk about that. Give us a sense of the scale of the threat.
The sources are stark. We're looking at over 1 million ransomware attacks over the last year. And the targets are predictable: healthcare, banking, government, high-value, critical services.
And I'm guessing the old ways of defending against this, like basic antivirus software, just don't work anymore.
Not at this level. The old signature-based security is like trying to catch fish with a single hook in the ocean. The attackers are too fast, the malware is too diverse.
So what's the shift?
The whole industry is moving to behavior-based detection, using AI and machine learning to spot weird activity on a network rather than waiting to find a virus we already know about. It's a constant arms race.
Are there any specific high-level threats we should know about right now in the August 2025 context?
Yes, 2 are highlighted. First is a campaign called Operation Celestial Force. It's been active for years, since 2018, and it's a long-term espionage campaign targeting government and defense entities here. Very sophisticated.
So it's not about a quick payday, it's about stealing strategic information over a long period.
Exactly. And the second is more targeted. Ongoing campaigns aimed at defense personnel trying to get into their mobile devices using modified remote access tools. It's strategic, persistent espionage.
So given that volume and sophistication, how is the national defense holding up?
It's a monumental effort. CERTIN, the National Emergency Response Team, handled over 2 million security incidents in 2024.
2 million in 1 year.
2 million incidents that were caught and handled, and that's just the reactive part. Proactively, you have things like the Cyberswatch to Kendra, the Botnet Cleaning Center, which covers about 94% of Indian internet users.
And they're doing drills, right? Wargaming this stuff.
They are. An exercise called Cybershock 3 was run for the entire finance sector earlier in the year, specifically to practice responding to ransomware attacks. This is a constant, high-stakes battle.
So if we pull all of this together, what's the big picture?
I think the key takeaway for August 2025 is this idea of radical simultaneous tensions. You have this incredible acceleration in deep tech and quantum and government services, but that's happening at the exact same time as this painful professional consolidation in the job market and these persistent high-level cyber threats.
So what does this all mean for you, the professional listening right now? It means that the era of being a low-skill, high-volume IT generalist, well, that's over. It's fading fast. The entire structure now favors deep specialization.
That's the career advice. But here's a final thought to leave you with, something that ties back to that deep tech boom. The sources point out a fascinating problem.
Which is?
Many of these brilliant deep tech startups, founded by PhDs, they struggle to scale. The founders are incredible inventors, but they often lack the commercial skills, go-to-market strategy, fundraising, scaling manufacturing.
The inventor struggles to become the industrialist.
Exactly. So here's the question. If India's whole economic future depends on scaling these deep innovations, how crucial will those commercial skills become for every IT professional, even the purely technical ones? Is the future about who can invent the best thing, or who can actually execute and bring that invention to the world?
An essential question for anyone planning their next move. You have the full picture, direct from the sources. Send us your next stack of information, and we'll dive right in.